Welcome back to the second episode in our short series on upholstering a seat for a bulldozer. Today we are picking up where we left off last time off camera. I've done a bunch of work to get this far. I'll catch you up to speed on that. We've got a bunch more to do on this before we can install the upholstery. This is the original old seat back, which is completely rotted out and useless. This is what I've accomplished so far. So if you want to learn how I did this and where we're going to go to get it to be upholstered beautifully, stick around. I'm Mike and you're watching My Car Shop. Remember that the tips, tricks, and techniques I'm sharing here can be used on any upholstery project if you can just take and apply those principles to whatever you're working on. So what we've done so far, yesterday off camera, I got 2 pieces of strap metal. It's 1/8 inch thick by 1.5 inch wide. Really good stiff material. I bent it to match the contour here. I bent it to match the contour here. Then I took and made a pattern, a template with some cardboard of both the top and the bottom of the seat itself off of, actually I used this part here, which was the original seat back. And I made myself a couple of pieces of, this is thicker than the material we're using on the door cards for the 47. This is more like 5/16 thick plywood. It's actually the shipping crate material that the rotisserie came in. We cut it, we formed it to fit. We drilled holes through, tapped the holes in the metal, and got everything here. So what we need to do today is, right now these are 2 separate pieces. And what we need to do today is make a metal framework that's going to attach this upper one to this lower one. So I've got to figure out a way to probably weld up some kind of an infrastructure to make this all one seat. I got some ideas on how I'm going to do that, but before we can get into that, we need to remove our wood pieces off of this framework so that we can see the underneath structure itself and figure out a way to make it. Okay, there we go. One of the struggles I have is I don't have much more of this material. I would just make a couple of pieces of the same material here if I had more, but I only have enough for one. So my one thought is to put it in the middle, weld it in there and give us a start, and then make a couple of other pieces down here. So I'm not sure yet. I've got to dig around and see what I've got for material here. And so let's get that done, and then we'll be right back. So I had one little 6-inch chunk left from that 4-foot stick that I bought. And I'm going to use that as my center support. I milled out a slot here just to allow clearance for that. I split the difference so that it's centered on both sides. We're going to weld that around real good and solid. And then we're going to make 2 more pieces out of something else to go here and here. And I think that will give us a good solid structure for that seat without interfering in any way with the contours on this side. I hope that should work. We'll find out. All right, I got my 2 other straps done. Just like in this one, I had to mill a spot for that because of where I located those screw holes yesterday. I was just randomly putting them in, but we're ready to weld this in place now. So yeah, I found more strap metal upstairs. I'm happy with that. So we're going to get that tacked in, and we'll go from there. I don't know if I showed you or not, but I also welded the nuts, so that's done. So yeah, it's going to be a nice seat back, I think. So hopefully it all goes together and comes together, copacetic and isn't so pathetic. And there we go. It took me a little while to get my thick welding chops back, my thick metal welding chops back. Other side's got some boogers on it, but I've been welding sheet metal for so long, and I haven't welded much heavy stuff, but they're not perfect welds, but they'll do the job. So anyway, all right, I got to cool that, and then we're going to unbolt it and bolt it back on and see how it works, and then we'll put the wood back on it and see how that works. Something else I got to remember is I got to cut these off here as close as I can. There, here, and here, so that I have room to wrap the upholstery material and staple, because if I don't, then I can't staple in that because the wood goes right to the edge of this. So yeah, so we got to cut these off, but that's no big deal. We'll get that done probably next because we're going to unbolt this now and see what it looks like. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Right, got that all cut off, so now I want to go around with my grinder, clean it up a little bit, and then we're going to hit that with some kind of paint. But I think before I go that far, pardon my booger welds here, like I said, I was struggling with the welder. I had my wire speed wrong, was the biggest problem. Anyway, yeah, I lost my train of thought there. I'm going to clean that up a little bit, and, oh, I didn't, shoot, I should have welded that in there better. Oh, no, I welded it there. We're fine, okay. Anyway, yeah, let's get those rough edges cleaned up with the grinder and get everything rounded up so nothing will tear fabric or seat stuffing, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got all of our edges rounded up, all of our burrs gone, so we're ready to hit that with some paint. But I think I want to pre-assemble this real quick, put the wood back on it, just make sure everything is lining up, that nothing moves from the heat. So we will get that done, and we'll be right back. It looks good. I think I should put some bigger washers on here because the screws are pulling through the wood a little bit. When we assemble this the final time, I am going to take my die grinder and go through and smooth this edge off a little bit. But I need to pull this back apart again and paint it, but I'm really happy with the way that looks. I'm trying to decide if, yeah, I probably should pull it off of here. Just these 4 bolts, and make sure everything kind of stays reasonably in a facsimile of what it's supposed to be, because that's what's going to happen when I upholster it. And I want to be sure that when I unbolt these 4, nothing weird happens. But that frame is pretty rigid, so I don't think it's going to be a big problem. But I think we've got a good base now for ourselves here to do the upholstery. I'm going to have to do a little something there. I can see that. That'll be a simple little thing, I think. This end's not as much. Also got a bigger gap here. I wonder why that is. Well, again, none of that is really mission critical because all of this is rigid. That's the main thing. So I can always just run a piece of Gorilla tape or duct tape or something across that just to help smooth that out a little bit as well. But I feel like maybe I need to, right here, it's got a little... Oh, I see what's going on. It's catching right there. All I got to do is carve that out, and this will fall into place. Okay, it's caught on that nut. That's a simple thing. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, we'll fix that right now. This is why we check things, because as soon as I unbolted that, it did pull a little. So I'm thinking about putting just a piece of metal in here. It can be quite wide on both sides to just solidify that at the ends. The middle's fine, and if we get this wood to line up better, I think that would be overall. We can just screw it in with like 6 screws on each side. So let me find a piece of something to do that with. There we go. I like that. Go over that with the grinder a little bit. A little close on the edge there. We'll dress that up. But I bent these on the sheet metal brake, put them in the stretcher, and just gave them a little bit of curvature. They don't have to be perfect because there's foam over it. But it now gives me a solid structure for our base so that I can put this on and off of the thing regardless, and it should be good. So we're going to bolt it back on there real quick and make sure everything is copacetic and not so pathetic. And yeah, we should be close. So then if that works, we'll unbolt the metal structure off the back, get that painted, we'll get these plates painted up, and we should be moving forward. That's why we check stuff. The screws were hitting. These bottom screws down here were hitting on the steel just a little teeny bit interfering. So I took and hit the grinder on there real quick. It's good now. So I feel we have a very solid seat support to work with. I'm going to feel more comfortable putting some washers on these when I assemble it the final time. But otherwise, we're not perfect. I could take and, like take a hammer and just dress this. A little bit there, a little bit there. But it doesn't have to be perfect. There's a big pad of foam that goes over it. So yeah, that's pretty good progress. So let's take it back apart again now. Take the metal frame off, get that painted up, get these plates painted up, and go from there. Got her in some primer now. Let that dry. Then we can shoot some paint on that, let that dry, and then we are ready to holster it. So that's progress right there. Took a bit of engineering, a bit of fabricating, but I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. It's going to make a really nice, strong seat back, and much better than factory, that's for sure. There we go. All painted up, bolted in, screwed together. I still need to go through and replace each of these screws, not replace, but put a washer. I wish I had some fender washers, but I don't. But I just want to put a little washer on there to help give me a little more gription there. My metal pieces are working really well. They held everything together good, so I'm comfortable with that. That one could go in a little bit maybe. But overall, I think we're just about to the point of cutting our foam and being able to put all of that upholstery on. So I have some people coming here in a while, so I'm not going to get to this for a bit, but this evening, hopefully we can get this wrapped up. And if not, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Well on our way with this now. Just getting the upholstery stretched in. This is stuff you've seen me do on other episodes, so I'm not going in detail on this. We'll do that tucked corner piece. It's going to look nice. Let's see, we want to do our 45 here. Let's get this pulled down this way further first. Okay. Okay, we got a little bunchy there, but as long as the bunch is on the back, I don't care. Even if it's the Brady bunch. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we'll want to do our got staples in this wood is driving me crazy here. All right, so I'm working on my foam here for the bottom of the seat, but let's see. We want to kind of sort of come up this way here, like this. And all we're doing this for is to just try to eliminate excess material, like so. Same thing here, staying back about a ½ inch from the edge. Okay, now I've got all of this material here, and I'm just going to do a little snoop, like so, like so. Okay, we got a bunch of excess there we can get rid of in a minute, but let's get this snooped over here. So that just makes a nice folded corner with very little pleating on the front. Pull it tight. This is really hard on the fingers. Very nice corner now, see? And I don't care how much you do this. I mean, if you do it professionally, that's one thing. But if you do it like I do, you're always nervous that you're going to end up screwing up the material. And like I didn't buy enough. I got this piece that I thought I had left for the bottom. I got to go buy some more. Oh, look. Razor blade is in here for the future. Because that future is on its way. So let's do our top here now. I spent a lot of time pulling this material. I got a little excess right there of this I want to eliminate. I don't want a hump in the corner. Okay, that should work good. We're obviously going to have to go back and do a bunch more, and I got a whole big excess pile of material here to deal with, but right now I'm just trying to get it ballparked. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So, yeah, we'll be okay there. Again, I don't mind pleating on the backside. And I'm going to do a little snoop here. Like so. I think I better get my excess here nipped off. It's about 3 or 4. So one of my biggest challenges is not knowing exactly how much material to buy. Fortunately, I'm quite sure they have more. I hope they do. That would suck to get this all done and then not be able to find more of this material. Okay, sirrah, sirrah. They had quite a bit. I doubt they would have sold it, so I can go buy another yard. Then we'll have material we haven't even used yet. Okay, there we go. We'll tighten this up and pull it up and clean all that up. But let's get this corner done. So let's see. Oh, I was doing this one. Sorry. So I made my 45 snips here. I was going to make one here. Okay. Now I got this eerie crap here, but I like to leave that on there. Pull my material down. Make sure I don't have any pleats where I don't want them. I got a little one right there. I wouldn't mind pulling over the back. Let's get this staple down. Okay. And I'm going to pull in this one. And kind of use my staple gun to push some of this material out of the way too. Okay. And now let's give her the old Snoopy Snoop. Get rid of all that excess, and we'll tighten it all up now. Okay. See? 2 nice corners. So lather, rinse, repeat. We'll have this done in just a couple minutes. I just got to do these 2 bottom corners. Ooh. Little bit of a problem there. Just got to try to move the... Yeah, I got a little hump in there. I may have to pull that and fix that. Yeah, there's only one staple in there. So I'm going to pull this off and fix that. There's a little piece of humpy wood sticking out right there. I want to grind that away. Here's what I'm talking about right here. It was, whoops, it was pulling up into the there, and it's just this little edge of wood right here. All I got to do is just take a second and just take my grinder and just buzz that down, get rid of that, and that way it won't tear the vinyl. There we go. She's all done. No sharp edges there. No sharp edges there. Nothing that's poking through. That's the main thing we're looking for. Yeah, my foam ended up being pulled a little tight here. I probably pulled it just a little tight on that edge, but it's fine. A couple things I want to talk about. I double staple everything. I still got to go around and tap everything down with a hammer because I'm using a manual stapler, obviously. On this edge here, I wasn't comfortable with how little I was going to have on the corner, so I pulled it over the metal and stapled it up here. That way I've got a lot more pull and a lot more attachment, so I don't have to worry about that coming out. Again, I double layer the staples all the way around, and it looks good. So I'm going to tap that down and get the good bolted back into the seat to see what she looks like. All right, good. She's done. Whew, looks great. It's going to have a little more lumbar support than it had before. I'm good with that. I talked to him about if it was thicker. It's not much thicker at all than where it was. Nice and dense. It looks good. It looks real good. Remind you again of the armrests that we did also. You'll get those a second. So remember that we have armrests that go about like this on here. They sit on the tractor itself, on the dozer itself, like so. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks pretty darn respectable. I think it turned out really amazing. Can't wait to see it on the dozer itself. So I don't know if I'm going to share doing the seat bottom with you or not. I'll play it by ear what I run into. This is ready to go back to him. He can use this just like it is. He said he doesn't need it until Wednesday. Today is Sunday. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the plywood that goes in the bottom down here. I'll get this piece cut so that I can make the new seat pad if he wants, but I do have to go get more vinyl. The vinyl I miscalculated, and I don't have enough to go around. Now, yeah, if you sewed, you might, but I'm not sewing. Again, we're trying to do what you can do, DIY. Plus, sewing vinyl is not my thing, but this is going to look good no matter what. And he may say, you know what, don't worry about the seat bottom right now, but I would rather do it while the material's still there. I know it's there. I can just go grab another yard of that material and we can get this done for him. So That's my thinking. But I think it turned out good. Our pleating is not bad. Little teeny bit here and there, but oops, my staples are poking. Nope, they're not staples. Oh, I know what that is. Okay, nope, it's just a little rough edge there. Okay, nothing poking. It's soft inside. I thought there was a staple poking through there or something, but shouldn't be. I'm using 5/16 staples on 5/16 plywood. So anyway, let me know if you're enjoying this kind of stuff. We've done a bunch of this stuff in the 47, but I haven't gotten the material on there yet. We will be doing that at some point. Maybe not till next spring now, but we're going to be going on winter projects soon. But if you like this kind of stuff that I'm doing here, these upholstery projects, the DIY simple stuff you can do at home, let me know. That'll do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. I appreciate you being here, and oh, don't forget. Rock!